be with you for another episode of Jumpstart Monday. And today we are talking about a very important topic when it comes to advancing your career, when it comes to getting more clients as a freelancer or as a business owner. And the topic is creating business connections. A research that was done a few years ago showed that it's not only important to have a lot of friends and family, but it's also even more so important to have a lot of acquaintances in your life. The research was done by psychologist Mark Gravonetter and his team, and they went and they asked a group of people that had great jobs. They asked them, how did they get their job? 56% of the people said they got the job because they had a personal connection with someone. Now they went ahead and they asked what kind of connection it was. And they figured out that these connections were not friends, they were not family, they were acquaintances. So it goes to show that if you have a lot of acquaintances in your life, if you have a lot of weak connections, let's say, then you have better chances to get the job that you want. You have better chances to get the clients that you want and the money that you want. So in this episode, we are offering 4 tips in order to increase your acquaintances. And with that, I'll pass on the microphone to Michael to tell you the first tip.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Good morning, everyone. And tip number 1, as you now see on your screen, is only you know how you feel. One of the things that I've seen when it comes to sales, when it comes to networking, a lot of people are scared. They are frightened. But it's only you yourself that you know how you feel on the inside. No one is with you on your inside. I'll give you an example of a salesperson I once met at a supermarket. He was standing outside the general manager's office and he was a bit pale. So I asked him, how are you doing? Is there something wrong? And he said, I'm scared to go inside the general manager's office. And I asked him, what are you scared of? I'm scared that they might throw me out. And I told him that even if they throw you out, you'll still be standing here where you're standing. So one of the things when it comes to networking is to dare make that first step, is to dare move in. Because if you beat that fear, face everything and rise, the letters of fear, instead of forget everything and run, then you have a better chances of enhancing your network and making that sale for that matter when it came to this salesperson. Tip number 2, as you now see on your screen, is listen and learn. A lot of people think that people who are good in sales or good at networking are the ones who are talking nonstop. I beg to differ. I believe that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in that proportion. Listen twice and talk once. The great Dale Carnegie once said, be interested in the other person. He meant not interesting. Most people, when they start a conversation with someone, they don't even wait to hear what the other person has to say, and they jump in with their own conclusions or with their story because they want to sound interesting instead of being interested. And there was a story about 2 great prime ministers of the 20th century in the United Kingdom, Mr. Disraeli and Mr. Gladstone. And they both met at a baroness's house. And once the party was over, they walked out of the house, of the villa, and the reporters were waiting for them. So the first question came to the baroness from one of the reporters. And the question was, how did you feel talking to Mr. Gladstone? And the baroness looked at the reporter and said, talking to Mr. Gladstone, I felt that he's the smartest man on earth. And then another reporter, he couldn't help himself and he asked, how did you feel talking to Mr. Disraeli? And the baroness looked at the reporter and said, talking to Mr. Disraeli, I felt that I am the smartest woman on earth. So Mr. Disraeli knew something that Mr. Gladstone didn't know, that you should be a great listener if you want to enhance your networking. So Sophia, tips number 3 and 4 is on you. So tip number 3.
Excellent, Michael. So you said about only you know how you feel. You said about listening, and I'm going to give you 2 tips that will take it up a notch. So let me start with the third one. And the third one is asking the right questions. Imagine that you're on your car and you're driving to a networking event and we are going to meet a lot of people. So it's very important that you're a little bit prepared so that you use the time that you have with these persons let's say creatively, or you use it to make a good conversation. And let me give you two examples of good questions. One question is, what do you think is the most exciting part of your job? Another question could be, what do you like to do in your free time? These are questions that bring conversation, and you start to, especially with the second one about the free time, it helps you connect with the other person on a personal level. And that brings me to a story I have in the next tip. And the next tip is offer value with your conversations. It's not enough to listen, it's not enough to ask questions, but when the other person tells you something, try to figure out how to help them, try to figure out how to bring value. A story I have from a networking event is that a few months ago, I met this lady in an event, and when I asked her what she likes to do in her free time, she told me that she likes to go to restaurants. And then we started to talk about which type of restaurants, and she told me that she likes Japanese barbecue. So I told her, you know what, there is a new restaurant in my area that just opened, and I tried it, and it's really good. I don't remember the name, but when I get back home, I will send you the name of the restaurant, and you can go and try it out. So that's what I did. When I went back home, I actually passed next to the restaurant, and I wrote down the name and the address, and I sent her an email. So the next time I met this lady in another networking event, she saw me from across the room and she said, "Hi, Sophia, how are you? I went and I tried this restaurant and it was great." And that created a different connection and a different dynamic between us. So networking is not only about what you discuss in the moment, networking is about offering value, and it's about following up.
Excellent example, Sophia. Great stories. So now let me recap. You can remove the fourth tip. Let me recap. Tip number one is only you know how you feel on the inside. So get that fear burning, face everything and rise for that matter, and make that first step. Unlike the salesperson who stayed stuck outside the supermarket office of the general manager. Number two is great networkers listen a lot and they learn a lot. They are on a double L mission, listen and learn. Number three, as Sophia has very correctly told us, you have to ask the right questions because then you engage your interlocutor and you become a more interesting person because you're truly interested in the other person. And number four, which is also very important, is once you make a promise, follow up. At the end of the day, your network will determine your net worth. And when I say net worth, I don't mean only in terms of monetary terms. I mean net worth as an individual, as a person who makes promises, who honors their promises, who's pleasant, and who likes to listen emphatically and learn. And that's how you will enhance your network. And if you do that, then your weak ties, as we learned earlier, will become stronger ties, and they will help you advance your career or help you find a job if you're looking for a job. And Sophia, if you allow me, I want to introduce one of my connections, one of my weak ties, which became a very strong tie. And the person I'm going to be introducing you here live is my friend Lefteris Petridis.
Hi, guys.
This is Lefteris.
Hello.
Lefteris has been in charge for all the new decoration you see in the background, and also you can see it opposite. Let me show you. So Lefteris has done the decoration for the office here, and we're still doing it.
Yep.
We haven't finished it yet. And I wanted to introduce you, Lefteris. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of him. He's done a fantastic job. So I thank you very much. No, it's a pleasure. You'll be hearing more from Lefteris. We'll be making a post this week with what I've learned from Lefteris, Sophia. So that's important. I wanted to say that. So thank you very much. Thanks, Lefteris. Thank you. Sophia, please take it away so we can close our session.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And Lefteris, he did a great job. I vouch myself, I'm a bit jealous. But anyway.
I know you're a bit jealous, Sophia. You told me. But at least you're an honest person. That's what I like about you. Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell to everybody that the episodes we are doing, they are available on YouTube. So if you want to rewatch it, feel free to go on our YouTube channel. Let me put the link here. So you can follow us and watch the previous episodes. And then the other thing is every 2 weeks on Wednesday, we have a newsletter coming out where we are sharing stories from everyday life and how they teach us to be better professionals, better people. So feel free to let us know in the comments if you're interested to
Can we
receive
drop
this.
it? Can we drop, not now, but can we drop the
Yes.
link in the recording? Yes.
Yes, definitely. We will drop the link in the recording.
Lefteris, Helen Lambru says, well done, Lefteris. She likes what she sees down here. She likes it a lot. So well done, Lefteris. Very good.
And thank you to everyone who are here. One more thing I wanted to say is that if you want to come live with us and share your tips, your knowledge, your wisdom about how to become better in your career or in your life, please go ahead and email us and we will arrange it.
How will they know the topic of next week? Can we drop the topic, not today, but can we drop the topic and let them know in advance so some people would like to
We will drop it, yes, but feel free
Okay.
to come with suggestions.
Maria Cleanthus, good morning, and good morning to everyone who is sending in messages. Sophia and myself will drop the link to the newsletter in just I don't know, in a few minutes.
As soon as we close, yeah.
As soon as we close, so you can go and connect via that, and you will be getting the bi-weekly newsletter. It's complete, it's complimentary, and feel free to share it with your team if you like, or with your friends. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Sophia, for being so prepared. Lovely examples. Thank you also to Lefteris, who's here with me. And see you all next Monday. Take good care.